thought I would go live for a little bit and talk pattern mixing. So you guys have probably seen some of the pieces that I've been putting together and some of the outfits, and essentially just trying to give you guys some ideas on what to look for when you are trying to put together outfits. I will tell you that it was something that scared me right from the beginning, and I'm going to tell you why. So before I found LuLaRoe, I'm going to show you the kind of stuff that I wore. This is my ultimate favorite sweatshirt, and I haven't gotten rid of it because it does have some sentimental value. It was a gift to me. But this is what I wore. Okay, and just to give you an idea of how much this has been worn, it might be kind of hard to see, but the inside of it, it's starting to wear thin. This is one of the sleeves, just to give you an idea. Yeah, like I did everything I could to not get rid of this. So, but I wore these. I wore sweatpants. I wore not the jogging pants, but like the workout pants. They're like slippery, they're kind of moisture, they wick away the moisture. I wore black or gray leggings. I wore as simple and plain as possible. Like I didn't want to have to put a lot of effort into my clothing because ultimately I was worried that if I styled things incorrectly or put things together incorrectly, people were going to judge me, they were going to make comments, they were going to laugh at me. So it's like, why even bother? Just like take all of that out and just throw on the most drab, plain, boring clothes that you can find and just deal with it. So I think the spiciest color that I ever wore was red, and it was like these pair of like jogging pants that I had, and they were like a wine red and they had gray on them. So it was like, oh, okay, you know. But I stayed away from everything because it was just easier. I had this excuse in my head that, you know, it just made sense. I'm going with easy. And honestly, it was kind of a cop-out in my mind now that I look at it. But I've had a lot of people that have said pattern mixing, especially with LuLaRoe, is difficult for them. It's scary. And I totally understand why. It's not something that we grow up learning. And I was always taught that the more flamboyant your wardrobe is, the more flamboyant your lifestyle is, and you tend to be wild and crazy. And I don't think that's it. I think for me, having access to clothes like this, I mean, I would never have worn this before, but having access to clothes like this gives you a level of confidence that I think intimidates people when they see you smiling and you start to come out of your shell. Like I've seen so many people that have thrown on the clothes and they go from being really quiet and kind of hush-hushed to these very outgoing, confident people. And I think that people tend to get that a little confused. So don't be afraid of the pattern mixing. Embrace it. And you can embrace it in steps, baby steps. I personally was not a fan of it, and I think it was because I just didn't allow myself the opportunity to look at it. Way back when I first started into this, one of my assistants kept trying to get me to do more pattern mixing, and I was like, no, major aversion to it. And I couldn't tell you why, other than I just don't think I wanted to take the time to do it, because it does take a little bit of a careful eye and some decision making. And now that I'm doing more of it, I look forward to it. So take those baby steps. And so we've talked about, when we do our live sales, that some of the first and most simple ways to do it are stripes and floral. Okay, we know that the stripes and floral are the most basic and easy pattern mixing that you can do. And then just going with color, like taking a printed skirt and putting a matching solid to it. And don't think matchy-matchy. That's the other thing that I have found myself moving away from. When I was matching up a solid with a print, I was thinking that they needed to be the exact same colors in order for it to work. And in all actuality, they can be shades. So it doesn't need to be the exact, oh, I've got this beautiful like Pepto-Bismol pink in this skirt and I have to have a Pepto-Bismol pink shirt to go with it. No, you can have a cotton candy pink to go with it. It's the point that you have the pink. You're working with the pinks. So kind of step out of that and stop thinking matchy, 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 because it doesn't need to be the way. ultimately, when you do this, you want to be thinking about your base print. So you can have 3 or 4 different prints that you love, but pick one to work with. Like, have that be the focal point of your outfit, and then everything that you add to it should complement it. So your shoes, your handbag, your scarf, your Sarah, your Lindsay, your classic, whatever it is, add to that. And honestly, what I found is if you pick that one piece and you are struggling to find anything to go with it, then go ahead and give up on it. Like, don't give up on it for, for the rest of your life. But in that moment, it's just not working. You're not finding your inspiration. And honestly, every day when I go look at my wardrobe and I decide what I'm going to wear, I wear whatever speaks to me in that moment. So like 2 days ago, I was not interested in wearing this. It wasn't speaking to me. Today it is. So the same thing when you're picking out your base print. You may think you want to work with it, but if you're not finding anything to work with it that day, your soul's not feeling it. Go with something else. It's perfectly okay. I did that the other day. I had one shirt that I was looking at matching, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my brain is hurting. I'm like, I couldn't get it to work. Yesterday, I grabbed it and I immediately saw something. So it's okay. It's not always going to click. Scale. Okay. So when we talk about scale, we're actually talking about the size of something. So we could have a small floral print. We could have a big floral print. We could have a small stripe pattern, a thick, wide stripe pattern. You want to think about the scale because it's super, super important when you are pattern mixing that you don't have too big or too little patterns. When you have the same sizing of patterns, they wash each other out. They like cancel each other out, which is great if you're trying to hide things. So like you're wanting to pull back on the size of the chesticles, then wear a small print and then wear a cover up over it or a scarf with a small print. It draws attention away from it, okay? So something to think about. But whenever we're doing pattern mixing, we typically want the pattern mixing to be a big print and a little print, okay? Big print is typically going to draw a lot of attention, but they balance each other out just perfectly. One doesn't draw more attention than others, usually, unless it's bright colors or really, really big print. But they harmonize well, so to speak. Don't be matchy-matchy, like I said. Try not to do and not just the coloring, but you guys have probably seen people wandering around in the Lula realm wearing what we call Lula suits. They were really big for 4th of July. People were wearing the exact same top and the exact same bottoms. If you've been with us, we call those Mike's pajamas. It's a big joke with us. You know, Mike's pajamas, he's got this shirt and he's got the leggings that exactly match and you wear them to bed. There are people who wear them out, and if you want to do that, that's great. So when we talk about pattern mixing, we tend to look at some of the different options that we have available. Normally what you do is you have your base, you do a big and a small, or you can do, if you're doing 3, you do a big print, like a floral print. You would do like a solid as your next one, and then do a geometric print. So I would do floral, solid, animal print. I know that sounds strange, and some of you might be going, oh my God, that's just like crazy. I couldn't do it. Let me explain. So there's several different types of pattern mixing that y'all can do. And I have like a cheat sheet that I use. I'm actually going to put this, I'm starting a blog, and I'm actually going to put it on my blog because I want people to start experimenting more. And you've seen me do it. Some of the outfits that I've been putting together, I use this as my platform when I choose what to put together. So stripes and polka dots, the most common easy thing. That's like stripes and floral. Okay, stripes and polka dots. They go really well together, and it doesn't matter if it's a vertical, horizontal, diagonal, stripes and polka dots. Polka dot size doesn't matter. Although I would probably recommend doing like large stripes, small polka dots, or big polka dots, small stripes. Once again, that base of doing big and small prints and not doing big stripes, big polka dots, because they're gonna kind of cancel each other out. So herringbone. You guys should all know what herringbone looks like. They look like the arrows. They go arrows this way, and then in the next line over, it's arrows this way. So they're back and forth arrows like this. We typically do herringbone with animal print. Now I want you guys to understand, animal print, typically like leopard and cheetah especially, they're neutrals. So it's like using white, black, gray. A lot of stuff goes with them. which is kind of strange to think about because I know for me, when I think about cheetah print or leopard print, I think of like the wild, crazy bingo lady, you know, the big purple hair, 20 pounds of jewelry, 50 million pounds of makeup, and 50 bingo daubers, beehive hairdo, you know, like, yeah, like wild and flamboyant. But no, animal print is neutral, just so you guys know. You can do plaid and paisley, which is great because plaid is that nice linear thing, you know, nice and straight. And then you have these gorgeous kind of floral, just they take up more space. So you have linear and then you have spread out. So paisley works well too. Stripes and floral, we've already talked about that. Animal print and animal print. Two animal prints can go together. I would not recommend wearing cheetah and cheetah, or leopard and leopard, or zebra and zebra. I would look at doing like a tiger print with like a cheetah print. Like match them up in that way. I mean, you've probably seen it in some of the stuff that we have through LuLaRoe. Patrick's been really good about doing skirts that have multiple animal prints mixed together. They almost like blend perfectly. I don't know. It's just organic, so. Leopard print and floral, like I told you, leopard print is neutral and it looks amazing with floral. Like I can't even tell you. I never thought it would look good together, and when I threw one together, I went, oh my gosh, like this works. It really does. Okay, camo print and floral. Now, this is important to remember. There are a lot of people that will try to pass off stuff as camo print, and it's not. Like I actually saw a girl the other day trying to say that the outfit was camo print and floral when it was a quatrefoil, and you guys... Probably, I'm going to show you quatrefoil, but it's that weird, like, John was calling it the Christmas ornament look, but it's like that, you know, it's got this weird kind of hourglass shape to it, and they keep going like that all the way down. She was trying to say it was camo, and I'm like, that's not camo print, that's quatrefoil. So stick to traditional camo. Floral and houndstooth, amazingly beautiful. If you guys saw the video that I did today for Lindsay, you saw houndstooth with floral. It also goes great with stripes, as I said earlier, but houndstooth, the first time I ever experienced houndstooth, I was like, this is a really intense print. What could you possibly pair this with? And the first thing that my brain went to was solids. Solids. It's the easy way. I mean, that's kind of where we always default to, because solids are simple. Like John says, simple, solid, sexy. But houndstooth actually looks amazing with stripes and florals. I did some research just to make sure that I wasn't being lied to, and saw this gorgeous black and white houndstooth skirt, pencil skirt, with kind of a striped black and white peplum top. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Like, it was so classy. It's really sophisticated looking, which is just amazing to me, and that's what you want. Plaid and stripes. So you have a very linear, and then you have this kind of geometric thing going on. So it's a grid. It looks great. And then polka dots and checkers go together, which really seemed weird the first time I ever heard that, but it actually works great together. But when you guys are putting together outfits, you want to think about the fact that you don't want to overdo too much of the pattern. So once again, if you're putting shoes or handbags or whatever, think about going to solids, because it is okay to add solids to stuff. It's not going to kill you. Just don't go wild and crazy with it. The other thing that I'm going to put up is a color chart. I don't know if anybody is familiar with a color wheel, but a color wheel has the full spectrum of colors on it, and they typically tell you that, like, if you have red up here, whatever's directly across from it is going to be the accenting color. So they always tell you, look at a color wheel, because those colors, like, what is it? Yellow and purple, or like gold and purple, go great together. I always thought that was strange because that was my high school colors, but then when you look at a color wheel, they go great together. Like, when you say it, it doesn't sound good, but when you put them together, they look great. So there are suggestions on colors that you wear, and then the great accenting colors to go with it. And it doesn't necessarily need to be just the color that's directly across from it on the color wheel. It can be other colors too, so I'm going to include that. I'm going to be offering a lot of information like this because I will tell you, until I started actually doing research on pattern mixing, I had no clue what I was doing. Like, it was the scariest thing in the world. I wasn't open to it, and now that I'm open to it and I'm seeing it, after having gone to convention and seeing the fashion show and seeing the different styling sections at convention, it opened up my mind to the possibilities of what we have at our fingertips, literally. But if you ladies have questions about styling, please let us know. That's what we're here for. We're here to tell you what works, what doesn't work, and it goes beyond just sizing. We're talking about colors, we're talking about prints, we're talking about how to put 3 and 4 of these pieces together and make a really classy, fashion-forward outfit for you, because that's how it should be. I think a lot of times we get into this, and sometimes I think we feel like we don't deserve to have stuff that's fashion-forward. And after the outfit I wore yesterday and getting all the compliments that I got on it, like, it made me realize I like it. Like, I like dressing up. I like having people say, hey, that dress looks amazing on you. And realizing that I'm wearing the dress and that the dress is not wearing me. Like, it's boosting my confidence. So, you know, let us know. That's what we're here for. We're here to give you suggestions. We're here to give you, you know, solid advice on what works and what doesn't. And if you have things at home and you're like, I don't even know what to pair this with, we can help you find things in our wardrobe. It could just be, do you have this in your wardrobe currently, and matching it up together, okay? So it doesn't always mean that you have to buy something from us just to get advice from us. So, but I'm going to start challenging you guys. I figure I've been doing this 2 years and I'm just now starting to get into the pattern mixing thing. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. Seriously. Like, it's not hard. It really isn't. So when you're buying outfits from us, if you're buying a full outfit, like we put one together, we're going to include accessories, because I feel like you need to have a complete look. I want you guys to get this stuff and feel like you can throw it on and go and not have to worry. You know, you don't have to make any decisions. You know what you can wear it with, and that's it. That's all you need. So taking all the issues out of it for